twitchy on the.
Oh, I'm not muted. I should mute myself. Oh, hello guys, and welcome to TRRL. This is round 4 of season 2 of Division 2, and obviously first things first. So I'd like to thank Simracer for sponsoring us to help um, support the prize money for Division 1 of this league. So obviously you realised that last week there was no me. I was not available to do the commentary as at a wedding. Sorry about that. I believe you can go on to Kyro's Twitch if you want to watch the Division 3 race. I'll leave his link in the description below for you after this race. So you can go back and watch that if you never got the chance to. Other than that, I think we should just jump straight into the qualifying. So we'll stay on board with Blyther in the Red Bull as he is the first one out, and obviously we are at Portugal today, and that is a very tricky track indeed, especially a few corners. For example, turn 5 is quite a tricky one, very easy just to slide your way around the corner, and you've also got turn 9 as well, which Blyther will be coming up to very shortly, which you can also just lose the back end, and like you don't even have to put throttle down, it's just you go too quick through here and you just lose the back end going up the elevation of the hill, and obviously it's quite a big elevation, so it really doesn't help if you put too much throttle down. But other than that, I think the rest of the corners are fine. So really the ones you got to watch out for is turn 5 and turn 9. But we will see how Blyther does on his first hot lap. And I just quickly need to do one last thing, and then it'll be all good. I'm not on mute tonight, that would be a disaster. No, I'm not on mute, I can confirm. Oh, I've switched driver by accident. Okay, that's seriously my fault, I'm sorry. Right, so we're staying on board with the Red Bull of Blyther as he starts his hot lap for the Portuguese Grand Prix, so we'll see how he does going into turn 1. Very easy to invalidate and go wide through here, but it looks like he has kept it within limits. Now through turn 2, you want a good exit out of here to line you up for turn 5, and you want to get a nice wide entry to turn 5, and it looks like he's done that rather well, so no troubles there through turn 5 like we were saying the lap before. And through here you want to carry as much speed as possible and get on the throttle as quickly as you can. Use as much of the track as you can going out of turn 6 there. It can gain you a few temps, and just through here you just want to throw the car, but obviously not too much to a point where you are now gliding off of the track. But it looks like he has got through turn 5 and turn 9 with no problems at all. So far so good for Blythe in the Red Bull. As now he enters into turn 12. Come and have it, looking rather good as well. It's very easy to also run wide there. But so far it's looking rather good for the Red Bull. We will actually get the track map and all that up for you guys as well, because I was not doing that. But anyway, we'll see what time the Red Bull does do, as he uses all the track he can there. And it's just the long right-hander to go now, and we will see what time he sets for the first lap of qualifying, and it's going to be a 1:17.8, so a pretty solid time to put down on the board straight away. So I'm sure he'll be pleased with himself there. And we will now go on board with the Mercedes of Young White Boy, as he is currently also on a lap. So it's looking good for him so far, and Jesper does set a 1:17.9, so 1/10 off of the pace of Blythe, but nevertheless still looking good. We have Spanner there invalidated. Niller, he's just started his hot lap. LH44 started his, he's through sector 3 right now. He's on the medium compound tyre, so he'll be coming to the line very shortly. You have Saki in the Haas there setting a 1:19 flat. And we have Joe, the other Aston Martin driver, setting a 1:18.4. Spillage has just gone quickest by half a tenth with a 1:17.8, so a good lap from him there. We'll see where LH44, our current championship leader, puts his car as he goes across the line, and that is a 1:17.6, and to do that on medium tyres shows a lot of pace in that Alfa Romeo, so a really good job to him. And that looks like Scroll has set a 1:18.1 there to take P5. We'll now stay on board with the other McLaren and see what time he sets as he comes towards the end of his hot lap. We also do have an Alpine, I believe that is Marshall, coming over the line to finish his hot lap. It's a 1:18.5, enough for P8. Young White Boy did just take provisional pole as it stands with a 1:17.5. Niller's going to come across the line to be alongside his teammate on the grid. No, he's not. They're going to be on two separate roads, but position-wise, they are next to each other, and he is only less than half a tenth within his teammate there. So that puts him up into P7. We have a few drivers who have invalidated. James is coming into the pits. He doesn't want to do a lap on those medium compound tyres. Now, I do believe that medium hard seems to be the quickest strategy around here. But I don't want to say anything to give away for my Division 1 race, because I guarantee there's a few Division 1 drivers in here trying to get some tips. I'm joking. Why would they get tips off me? I'm not even in the top 10. No, I believe that a medium hard pit stop is the best one, but the hard tyres on this track, for me personally, they've just never worked, so I think I'd probably go for something like soft, medium, soft. Oh, looks like an Alpine there is going fast. I believe that might be Twitch TV Curly. No, it's not. Who is it? Looks like Tommy. He'll be starting his hot lap soon. Apex, the other Red Bull, has just started his hot lap as well. Yeah, so there are some Division 1 drivers in here. So yeah, guys, I believe medium hard's the quickest, but if you don't want to be sliding out at turn 5 and turn 9, I'd suggest soft, medium, soft, or soft, medium, medium. Some people saying soft mediums work. I mean, I've personally never. Yeah, I think the soft mediums would work. We'll have to see what these drivers go for in 11 minutes time, when we can see what tyres they will be starting on. But Apex is doing his hot lap on the medium compound tyre, so he's looking to start on that medium compound. But obviously, if you ain't going to get in the top 10, there's no point going out on them, because obviously you can start on fresh tyres when you are outside of the top 10. So we'll see what time the Red Bull of Apex can do. His teammate currently sat in P4 with a 1:17.8, only half a tenth, splits the car in front to him. But let's see what time his Red Bull teammate can set. It's a 1:18.6, which is enough to take P10. Just a few more attempts and he can gain 2 positions there. So not a bad lap from him, but he is going to want to improve on those medium tyres if he's going to want to make qualifying on mediums work, but you never know, he might not want to start on soft tyres. But anyway, we have Paige in the Haas now on her hot lap. We'll see what she can do as she goes through turn 6. That's the one. And we also do have 2 cars in front. I believe that's a Red Bull of Blyther and a Ferrari of Spanner. Just going through turn 15 now. No, 13. 14. Yes, I'm almost correct. So actually, we'll see what time Blyther sets, because he's the first one across the line. So we'll see what he can do, as he is currently right. Oh no, it looks like he is going slow. So looks like the Ferrari of Spanner and the Red Bull or Blyther are looking to set a lap time in just a second as they go across the line. Actually, Blyther does come into the pits, so he does not want to set a lap time. Maybe he messed up a little bit. Paige did cut a little bit of the curve there, but obviously didn't get an invalidation. So sorry about that. I had someone barge through the door and ask me a question. Anyway, Paige set at 118.8. That was enough to take P12, just ahead of her other teammate Saki, who is currently sat in P13. But we'll go on board with the Ferrari of Spanner now, as she has not set a lap time yet. So we'll see what she can do in that Ferrari. She's currently sat in P14, obviously has not set a lap time yet. So therefore, we last on the timings of those who have set a lap time. So we'll see what she can do as she comes through turn 13 now. And somebody, it looks like James has just set a 117.1. So that moves him up into P2. So that's a very solid result there. Putting him alongside the front row. So we have the 2 Mercedes on the front row there. So that's a good job to James, as I believe he is quite high up in the championship standings as well. I'm not too sure where he is. I should have probably looked at that beforehand. But Spanner stays in the same position she was without a time. That's a 119.1. So only 1.5 tenths off Saki, the car in front, so maybe she can find a little bit more time to be able to get ahead of that Haas driver. Anyway, Twitch TV Curly is coming out to do his hot lap very shortly, but we will now go on board with Joe, as I believe, Joe, you are coming towards the end of... No, you're not. It's Jesper. No, Jesper's on that lap. Who's that Red Bull? Looks like Apex. Apex has invalidated. So we're staying on board with Joe, as he's the next car across the line. No, yes, he is. That's actually going to be setting a time. And he has just set fast sector 2 on the medium compound tyres. Now, I don't know if that was a glitch within the game, but we'll see when he comes across the line. As he's going through the right hander now, which will be turn 15, and then onto the long right hander of turn 16. We'll see what time he sets on this medium compound tyre. It's looking like it's going to be a 118.1, so it is quicker and it moves him up into P7. Now, I've just got a friend request from somebody who will be joining the session, so you're going to have to take a quick break here and let my slow PS4 add in, which is going to take quite a while. Sorry about that. And then, obviously, we'll jump straight back into the qualifying. There we go. And now we have to invite him. And then, that should be everything. And then, you will not have any more breaks. I just need to find him on my friends list now. There we go. Job done. Right, what have we missed? Have we missed anything? I don't think we've missed anything. Actually, yes, we have. We have missed Jesper. Jesper has moved up into P3 with a 117.3 on the soft compound tyres, so that's a good job to him. You know what? We will get up the... Oh, wrong button. There we go, the tyres. We can see what tyres people are on, and you can see what strategy they're going for. Obviously, if it does say 0 laps, that will not be the tyres that they then lap on. But looks like Twitch TV Curly is going through sector 2 right now, and he's still yet to set a lap, so we'll stay on board with him and see what time he can put down in the Alpine. With only 6 minutes left of the session, and so far he's not set a lap time, so that's quite important to get this one down. We do have yellow sector 1, 2, and 3. That's just cars slowing down to let the other cars pass who are on hot laps. That is not people already crashing during qualifying, I hope, but we'll see. But anyway, Twitch TV Kelly now coming around to turn 15. Now just be on to turn 16 to see what time he can produce in the Alpine. So as he comes across the line now, it is going to be a 119.4, so that does put him in P16, and I've never seen that happen before. Liam's actually able to set a lap time. That's never been available for me whenever I join midway through a session. I have to wait last. Let me see if I can fix that, because we don't want the internet not working, do we? So bear with me a second, guys. I'm just going to be changing a few things. There we go. Alright, that should be a lot better. Anyway, who's on the hot lap and who isn't? Young white boy, you've invalidated. Spillage, are you on a lap? You've just come across the line. Is that you have just started your hot lap? We'll come back to you. Life has started his. Scroll is on an out lap. Joe's in the pits. You've invalidated. Curly's come over our line. So we'll stay on board with the Red Bull of Blythe. He is the one on our hot lap and is the closest to the line that is on our hot lap. And he is, well, 1,000th up on his time so far, going through Sector 2. So we'll see what he can do as he finishes Sector 2. Obviously, sat currently in P6, only half attempt needed to move up into P5. So all he's got to do is find half attempt to move up into P5. Obviously, so far is 3,000 up on his time, and it's just a sign of a very consistent driver being able to put in lap times like your previous lap time. I don't know if anybody's like this, but with me, my lap time's either a 1:18 or a 1:18.5. It's never somewhere the same. It's always very inconsistent. That might just be me. But as he comes across the line, what's it going to be? It's a 1:18.1, so he did lose a little bit of time through the last sector there, which means he will not move up any positions where he currently is sat. Now, spillage, invalidated. There's a Mercedes coming over the line. That's James. He is nearly a 10th up on his time, so we'll see what he can do as he comes across the line. What's he going to be? It's going to be a 1:17 flat, and that is very close between the two Mercedes. Only 6 6,000 separating the two Mercedes there. I'm slowly getting used to the tenths, hundredths, thousandths, guys, don't worry. We're getting there, slowly. It's only taken us 10 rounds, but we're slowly getting there. Tommy is on a lap. He is currently 1/10 down on his time. Apex has just started one. Paige has started hers. And looks like Spanner has also started hers. So a few drivers starting their hot laps now. And LH44 just blows us all away over 1:16. That's a very quick time indeed, and now he takes pole position by 3 tenths, which is a very big difference to be taken pole by. So a very good job to him to put his Alfa Romeo there in P1 as it stands. And Jasper has just started his hot lap. And who do we go on board with? Apex. Apex is improving. Paige. Spanner has invalidated. We'll stay on board with Paige, as I believe she is the next one to cross the line, and she's currently half a second up on her time, so she could potentially move up into the top 10 here. See how much time there is for her to gain going through Sector 3. As the Haas car now comes around turn 16, the long right-hander, and then it's just got the straight line to the finish. What time is it going to be? It's going to be a 1:17, no, a 1:18.3. It's enough to take P11, which isn't a bad position to be starting in, as you get the first choice of fresh tyres. And Apex now moves up into P5 there, so moving the Red Bull up very far. Obviously the Red Bull now currently P5 and P7, and the two Mercedes there P2 and P3. So very good job from Apex there to move up into P6, and that does move a few drivers down the picking order. Liam has just started his lap, so we'll stay on board and see what he will do, as I know he is a very, very quick driver, so we should be looking at a top 5 here for him, but we'll see how it goes. But we'll stay on board with him, as he's obviously still yet to set a time. It looks like he did go for an extra out lap to warm up his tyres, obviously setting a 1:28.2. So we'll see what that does for him, and he's currently 9 tenths up on his time. So just turned 15 and 16 to go. We'll see where he can place the Williams car. as he comes across the final corner now of turn 16, the long right-hander. What time is it going to be going along the straight now? I can't actually see. It's enough for a 117.8, so it's a quick time, but I expected quicker, but you never know. Sorry, my words. He's had to rush home from work, so he might not even actually have a setup for this track. But we never know. He might be quicker in the race than he is in qualifying. But we'll see his pace later on, I'm sure we will. So who is currently coming over to finish their lap? Apex is not. Spillage is in the pits. Liam obviously has just set his lap time. Joe has just come across the line to do his, no? Oh, he's just started his. Sorry, that's my bad. Page is 5 tenths down, and Marshall looks like he is out on the medium compound tyre, looking to go up into the top 10, I'd imagine, on those medium tyres. Oh, we do have drivers retiring from the session. I'll be them happy with their qualifying position and wanting to sit out for the rest of the session. Obviously, I believe there is only like 3 minutes left. Oh no, I'm so sorry. The session's ended. I didn't even see that. That went a lot quicker than I expected, but we'll stay on board with Marshall as he is 6 tenths up on his time. This can move him up into, as it stands, P9 if he can keep this pace up on the medium compound tyres, which will be very nice to start on in the top 10. So we'll see what time he can produce as he crosses the line. Then we'll go on board with the Ferrari of Spanner, who's also coming across turn 16 now to finish her hot lap. But Marshall comes across the line. It is enough to take P10. Where will the Ferrari put her car? It looks like she's going slower than her previous lap. And that will be staying in 16th. But Marshall moving his car up into P10 on the medium compound tyres. That's not bad indeed. And we do have... What? Who moved up a position? I did not see. Did I miss? No, I'm not sure. I think that's everybody pretty much done. I don't think we've got anybody else on hot laps. That's like young white boys coming into the pits. So that is the qualifying standings, as the others are on a slow lap or going into the pits. So it'll just be Apex we have to wait for. And then I will run you through the qualifying order once it has been confirmed. Obviously, Why Not Beast and Cruisin' Anime both retiring from the session early on. I believe that is because of qualifying bans, not because they crashed. So we will see them work their way up through the field as this race goes on. Obviously 33 laps of Portugal. There's going to be a lot of entertainment and hopefully not a lot of safety cars. So we'll just wait for Apex now to be pushed into his garage, and then I'll run you through the qualifying order. So there is your qualifying for Division 2 Round 4. LH44 taking pole position by 3 tenths, followed by the 2 Mercedes of Young White Boy and James, then followed by the 2 Aston Martins of Joe and Jesper, and then we have the Red Bull of Apex, then Spillage in the AlphaTauri, then the Williams of Liam, obviously only been able to set 1 lap. Blythe then in the other Red Bull starts in P9, and then Scroll starts in P10. The Alpine driver, the first one to start on the fresh compound tyres, will be Marshall starting in P11 for the Alpine. Then Nilla, the other mechanic, starting in P12. Williams, we have Tommy in P13. Then we have the 2 Haas of Page and Saki starting in P14 and P15. Then we have Spanner starting in P16 in the Ferrari. Then we have Curly starting in 17 in the Alpine, and then we have, to round it off, the Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari of Why Not Beast and Cruisin', obviously not being able to set a lap time due to qualifying bans. And what have I done? Oh, that's the race director. We just have to wait. So we'll wait for the loading to commence, and then we will get into the race. We just have to wait for the drivers to pick their preferred strategy. Obviously, strategies do change throughout the race after you may pick up a little bit of wing damage or whatnot, but we will see how that plans out throughout the race. So we'll be starting in 20 seconds. Obviously, there is no longer any formation lap. So it'll be straight into the race for the Portuguese Grand Prix. Right, so here we go, I believe. I need to get up. Okay, so there you can see everything. It looks like everything is already up. So we'll wait for the lights to go out, and Spillage has been given a drive-through penalty for jump starting there. That will not be good news for him. It looks like the Mercedes of James there getting a very good start. LH44 not getting a very good start at all. Joe has moved up into P2 in the Aston Martin. His other Aston Martin teammate is trying to find a way through. They're all barging at the back. It's looking like 3 wide going into turn 4. Jesper has moved up into P5. LH44 has not had the start he would have wanted. Moving down into P5 now. But James has moved up into P1. Young White Boy into P2. The 2 Aston Martins, P3 and P4. It looks like the Williams driver has made a dive bomb, and what a move that is. I do not know who that is. That is Liam moving up into P4. Now the 2 Red Bulls have followed 7 and 8. I'm not too sure what's happened further down the grid. I'm more focusing on this bit up here. It looks like Why Not Beast has moved up into P15. And obviously Spillage will have a drive-through penalty. And that looks like Liam getting all out of shape there. And because of that, LH44 is going to capitalise and move up into P5. And he's also under threat from the Red Bull driver of Apex. But doesn't look like he's close enough to make a move. Now the front runners looks like they're already pulling away. That Mercedes driver has pulled 1 second to his teammate, and then obviously the Alfa Romeo is 1 second behind the 2 Aston Martin drivers. And it's like Scroll there making a position up on the McLaren, and that's a Red Bull running right. I believe that is Apex. Now is this going to give Blythe the chance to get past his teammate along the long right hander? Looks like he's got the move done. Looks like Apex actually coming into the pits there. I'm not too sure why he has come into the pits, but looks like Liam has got back past LH44 as he goes into turn 1 on the inside lane. He doesn't have a helmet on. He doesn't have a helmet on. What's going on? None of them have helmets on. No. They're just Liam. Liam doesn't have a helmet on. Maybe we'll disqualify him from the race for not having a helmet on. Anyway, the Red Bulls looking to make a move on. Oh my god, I'm getting my camera angles down the inside into turn 6. Will he be able to make the move stick? Looking like LH44 has got the better exit, so Blythe not being able to get past this time. But still right behind him, but obviously is under threat from the McLaren driver of Nilla just behind him. We will also get up the tyre compounds for you guys so we can see what tyres everybody is on. You can see they're cruising deciding the pit and go onto the hard tyres. And the Red Bull making a lunge down the inside. Is that going to be enough, or is that going to get... No. Okay, I thought the McLaren driver of Nilla might have been able to capitalise on Blythe going up the inside there and try and make the move on the Red Bull driver. So Blythe is still right behind the Alfa Romeo, been attacking the entire lap now. Is this going to be his chance to get past as he goes along the long right-hander? And it's like LH44 lifting off the throttle a little bit there and actually coming into the pits. Maybe had a little bit of wing damage. That does move up Blythe into P6, but further back we have the Williams driver Tommy trying to get past Blythe. Obviously Tommy being the first one on the medium compact tyres. Still in P8 as it stands. A little bit further up the grid we do have Jesper trying to catch up onto the back of Joe, and I've just caught Jesper spinning. So that it looks like the Aston Martin driver there has lost it through turn 5. Like we said, it's the horrible corner. It's very easy to lose the back end through there. That does move Liam up into P4 and Blythe into P5. So that's not good news for the Aston Martin driver of Jesper there. But anyway, we do have the Red Bull, McLaren and Williams in P5, 6 and 7 as it stands, battling for P5 obviously. 2 seconds to P4 for Blythe, so he has fallen back a little bit. But further down the field we have Saki in P8. Why Not Beast has moved up a bunch of positions. I believe that is 10 positions. He has moved up into P9 already, so that is a very strong start for him in the Alfa Romeo. Curly has moved into P10. I'm going to get the position changes up for you now so we can see. So you can see Curly's moved up 7 positions. Paige has moved up 3 positions. Scroll has lost a few positions among the start. And we have Marshall as well losing a few positions. Just about obviously after the spin during turn 5, he is now down into P14. Spillage due to the jump start. I'm sure it was accidental. He did not gain an advantage from it by anyway. I believe he stayed his position. Obviously, he still had to serve the drive through. Unfortunately, he's down in P15. LH44 is down in P16. Obviously, pitting. Not sure why. I believe he had wing damage. Apex as well in P17. He must have pitted for damage. Then we have Friesen and Spanner to round off the rest of the drivers. But anyway, we'll jump back on board with Tommy as these 3 are all next to each other. The Red Bull, McLaren and Williams. A little bit further up, we still have Joe right behind Young White Boy in the Mercedes, so there might be a move that we can watch just there. But right now the battle is for P5, and as I say, Blythe has closed the gap a little bit to the car in front of Liam, so it might not be long until Blythe gets onto the back of him, as he is gaining a little bit, but it might be a few laps yet till we see any battle in between them two going on. But these cars are starting to separate a little bit more now that the race is going on. You can see the gap starting to form. Obviously, most of the drivers now are outside of 1 second to the car next to them, if that's behind or in front. But we will stay on board with Tommy, as he is the closest one out of the selection of drivers that we have to the next car in front, and that car is in fact the McLaren driver of Nilla. Obviously DRS is now available, so Nilla is going to have to bear that in mind, as he has now lost DRS to Blythe. So Tommy might be lining up a move here. Obviously Tommy, being on the medium compound tyres, will not have the pace advantage, but he might not need the pace advantage, as he doesn't go for a move down the inside of turn 6 as it is. But I'm sure he will be lining up that move along the main straight soon, if he hasn't got the move done beforehand. Pardon me, sorry. We also have the Aston Martin driver of Joe trying to get past the Mercedes, and I'm sure if he stays within this distance along the main straight, he'll be able to get the move done on that straight with the DRS. But we will stay on board. We will stay on board with Joe, as he'll be the first one going onto the main straight, and we'll see if he'll be able to get that move done or not. So now they've just got the long right-hander to go, and he's only 4 tenths behind, so he might be able to make this move here, as he is closing quite a lot, and now he does have DRS. So is he going to be able to make this move going into turn 1, as we do get the nice helicopter shot? And I believe he is going to try and make the move. No, he's not. Young White Boy does go defensive, but a little bit further back, Tommy and the McLaren of Nilla, will we be able to see a move here? No, we will not. They were just not close enough. So both the cars not being able to make a move on the straight there. It looks like you do need to be within around 3 tenths to the car in front along that straight, unless Young White Boy and Nilla are both running a very low downforce setup, which gives them a lot of speed along the straights. But obviously both cars very close to each other, and a little bit further back we do have Curly on the back of the Hash driver of Page for the battle for P10. So Saki has picked up a penalty somewhere. I'm not sure what that is, as Tommy does get a little bit out of shape there going into turn 9. I believe Saki might have picked up a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits a little bit too much, and because of that he will have 3 seconds on his time. But anyway, it looks like Tommy has dropped back a little bit to Nilla in the McLaren, so we will now jump back on board with Joe, who is hunting down the Mercedes of Young White Boy. Now, round 2, is he going to be able to get the move done this time, as he is 4 tenths to the Mercedes? But I don't think he's going to have enough track once again, as Young White Boy does go a little bit defensive going into turn 1, but it's looking like Joe is in need of 100 or 2 extra meters of track along the straight there. And also Tommy has closed back up the gap to Nilla, obviously with the help of DRS. Scroll also in the McLaren, right behind Marshall in the Alpine, so we'll keep our eyes on that battle as well. LH44 does set the fastest lap of the race with a 1:19.9. So I'm not too sure when the soft tyres do last to. Obviously when the soft tyre runners obviously come into the pit, that may play a part, obviously where they come out among the rest of the drivers who have started on the medium compound tyres. So we'll see where that puts them once they come into pits. But I believe the soft tyres will last around 10 laps before they're done. But I might be wrong. They might last a little bit longer than that. But Tommy now within 6 tenths of that McLaren, and is closing quite a lot, as Nilla did not get the best of exit. Now, are those soft tyres starting to die out already? As I believe Tommy is going to be close enough to make a move here, and you can see Nilla trying to break the toe as much as he can, and he might have done a good job doing so, as Tommy is not close enough to make that move going into turn 1. So the long straight that we thought would be nice for overtaking is proving to be quite a challenge actually, and not many cars are being able to make the move along that straight. So we'll move back up with Joe, as he'll be the next one coming up to the DRS. Sorry, he's already gone past the DRS straight. It'll be Tommy and Nilla who'll be going to the DRS straight next, and LH44 setting another fastest lap there with a 119.8. Why not Beast moving up among the Haas driver into P8 already, so that's now definitely 10 positions he has moved up from. So a solid performance so far from the Ferrari driver. But Joe looking like he's dropping back a little bit to the Mercedes, only 8 tenths behind now. I'm sure that gap will close along the straight with the help of DRS. But it looks like both cars have formed a bit of a gap, and we have 9 tenths with Tommy and Nilla. And I believe Joe has not got DRS because he was not close enough, which isn't good news for him. But Tommy is now 2.5 tenths within that McLaren. Surely he's going to get the move done this time. As he goes along the main straight, DRS is open, and Nilla must have a very quick car in the straight, as it doesn't look like he's going to be able to make the move. But is he going to make the lunge? He does go for the lunge, but is not enough to make the move. So Nilla must be running a very low setup indeed in that McLaren, as the straight line speed he has is ridiculous. He's got a lot of straight line speed. But a little bit further back for the battle for 11th, we have 3 cars battling just here. Obviously 2 teammates, 2 Alpines, and then the McLaren just a little bit further in the background. Obviously the 2 Alpines are on the medium compound tyre. So Tommy still on the back of Nilla, and it looks like he's lost it going into turn 9. So it looks like Tommy there in the Williams has lost it, and it looks like... Oh, just going through them. So that battle moves him into P11, and Nilla will be rather thankful that he hasn't got to worry about the Williams driver behind him no longer, as Tommy lost it on turn 9, and because of that he's now moved up, down into P11. So it looks like Joe has decided to come into the pits and has picked up a 5-second time penalty in doing so, so that's really going to play a big part in his position. Now, is he going to have to serve it straight away, or will he be able to serve it later? No, it looks like he's going to have to serve it next time he pits, if he does pit again. So it looks like the soft tyres are starting to drop off a little bit, as a few drivers are pitting a little bit further back now. We stay on board for the bout or for 11th, and you can see there Curly getting a big DRS advantage, looking for a move down the inside, nearly wiping out the back of Tommy, but keeping it all together. Obviously they have now got Jesper behind them on fresh soft, 3 seconds behind, and I'm sure he'll be catching quick. That's a yellow sector 1 and 2. Who is that? I don't think it was anybody. It might have just been a few cars touching wheels there, but so far so good. We've still got all 19 drivers 10 laps into the race, which is very promising indeed. So good job to the drivers for keeping it clean and keeping it on the track so far. But now Saki is half a tenth away from that Ferrari driver, Alfa Romeo driver, who did pass him a couple of laps ago, but he has stayed within DRS, or why not Beast, so maybe looking to make a move back on the Alfa Romeo driver. But a little bit further back as well, we still have the McLaren of Scrolled on the back of Twitch TV Curly, and that's a Ferrari. Is that Creedon? No, it looks like Spanner, just trying to get out of the way of everybody. Looks like she is being lapped. Looks like Young White Boy has decided to come into the pits and put on the hard compound tyres. Same with Blyther and a few others. What tyres? Looks like Liam is going to go for the medium compound tyres. So all position changes, all position swaps, and it's going to play a big part now for the people who are currently on the medium compound tyres and the ones who aren't, like, having to clear the traffic. So that's going to play a big part now, as we have the front runners among the ones who are battling for around P10. So you can see here Spillage looking to try and make a move actually on Young White Boy, who's just come out of the pits on the hard compound tyres. But I'm sure a few other drivers are going to have to try and get past these cars as quickly as they can. Looks like Joe went for another compound of softs. Maybe he's going for a medium soft soft. Or, sorry, he started on softs. Maybe he's going for soft soft medium. So, we'll stay on board with these drivers, as I'm sure there'll be some moves being made trying to work their way through the pack. And as we see, Joe is only half a second behind Scrolled here. So, will he be able to make a move along the main straight? I believe he'll be able to due to the tyre advantage that he has got. And he's probably going to make the move before he even gets to the DRS straight. So, that like Joe is going to get this move well and truly done with a lot of ease, actually. Not much problems in it at all. But you can see there the McLarens do have a lot of pace along the straight line, so maybe they are sharing the same setup, as both the cars seem to be quite fast among the straights. But next will be Young White Boy and Liam. They'll be hunting down Scrolled, who is obviously on 11 lap old tyres, and that's not going to be a match for the drivers behind them on the soft compound tyres. As you can see there, the Aston Martin driver getting through, and it looks like Jesper has actually come into the pits to retire. Obviously being in P17, he started in P5, I believe. He wasn't satisfied with his race and didn't feel like carrying on. So that will put him in last and be the first car to retire among the 19 drivers that we have got here. And actually Marshall is on the back of Page. Now will Marshall be able to make a move along the main straight? We also have Saki on the back of the Alfa Romeo, so a lot of battles now going on, and we also have Liam trying to get past Young White Boy in the Mercedes, but he is being held up by Scrolled in the McLaren due to old tyres. So there's quite a few battles to watch right now. And we have also got Marshall trying to get past the Haas driver. Will he be able to make the move along the straight? I believe he'll be able to in that Alpine due to the DRS advantage, and you can see that along the straight. Nice and easy. Liam has managed to get past. It looks like we have a Mercedes there that spun out. It looks like Young White Boy has actually lost it through turn 16, and that's not good news for him in that Mercedes. So it does move him down into P13. I hope he hasn't got any damage, else he will have to come in and pit once again, and then he'll be quite far behind the rest of the drivers. But anyway, Marshall, it looks like Saki has cut the entire corner, but he obviously didn't want to get a penalty, so he took a slope. He must have lost it somewhere. Not too sure what happened to him, but he has now moved down into P8, and Joe will be rather pleased with that, as that's another car that he does not have to clear. So we will stay on board with Paige and Tommy, as these two will be battling to try and get past Marshall, but it doesn't look like Paige has got the pace to do so, as she is dropping back, but Tommy is also dropping back from Paige. So we'll keep our eye on LH44 and the McLaren, as LH44 looks to get past Scrolled in that McLaren on 9 lap old mediums compared to 12 lap old softs. I imagine LH44 will start to be having the tyre advantage due to wear, but also in front of them is that, what's going on here? It looks like Saki in front. Oh, it looks like they're both going into the pits. Oh no, Saki's staying out. What's happening here? So it looks like Scroll has gone into the pits. Saki has stayed out here. LH44 is going to make the move on Saki, who now means LH44 moves up into P9. So good job for him so far in that Alfa Romeo. Obviously did not have the best of starts that we've seen before, starting in P1, moving down quite a few positions, but we'll keep our eye on Joe now, as he has got a bunch of cars in front of him to clear, and obviously on the tyre advantage he should do rather quick, and you can see the pit stop effect that is happening now, as James on hard has not got to clear any of these cars in front, but Joe does, so that's going to be a big help to James now, who is currently looking like he is going to go on to win this race, as Paige actually just lets past Joe there after going a little bit wide going into turn 9. So Joe on the back of Tommy now of the Williams. Will he be able to make the move along the main straight? Obviously due to the tyre advantage, my guess is absolutely. In fact, Tommy is going to come into the pits, so a lot of cars now into the pits as it stands, which means Joe is how far behind James? Looks like he is 3 seconds behind James, and Joe will still have to pit again, being on the soft compound tyres. So we can see here Page, Why Not Beast, LH44 and Apex all still the pit in this race along with Creason, but Creason actually no, Creason has pitted, sorry, he has put on the hard compound tyres. Just 4 drivers left to pit and put on their set of tyres, so once they have pitted it'll be James, Joe and then Liam as our top 3. But we'll stay on board with LH44 as that is a Haas. Looks like Page, the tyre wear has not helped one bit, and because of that turn 9 just gets trickier and trickier every lap, and because of that we have seen another driver lose their back end through that corner, so that moves a few drivers up, and they'll be rather pleased with that. One less card to clear for them. But now the Alfa Romeo driver of LH44 is looking to get past Liam, and being on 8 lap old tyres, it is difficult to tell if he'll be able to do it along the straight, but he will have DRS to help him out. Spillage looks like he has lost it through turn 9. So it looks like the Alfa Romeo driver has got the move done and has now moved up into P4. Why Not Beast? I want to know how long he is going to be going on these medium tyres for, as it's looking like he's going to go for a medium soft strategy, and no other driver has gone for that, I believe, unless some drivers that have gone on to the medium compound tyres now are looking to go to the end of the race. So we'll see how that plans out for him, as obviously during the end of the race he will have soft compound tyres, which will be a big tyre difference compared to those around him. So Liam now, he doesn't have a helmet on. Like, it's not me seeing that way, he just doesn't have a helmet on. Right, what battles are there? We have a few further back for P11. We have the Alpine and the Williams battling to take that P11 spot. Obviously, in our division, I believe the top 12 do get points. So, even though he is not in the top 10, he will still get points if they are P11 or 12. But nobody is within 1 second of each other, apart from Tommy and Curly and Scroll. So, we'll stay on board with the... Oh, actually... No. Yeah. We'll go on board with James, who is closing in on Why Not Beast now, who is still yet to pit, but obviously being on 14 lap younger tyres, I imagine that James is going to be able to cruise past him, as Joe actually does pick up a 3-second time penalty, which is going to play quite a big difference at the end of the race. Time penalties, especially if there is a safety car. Obviously the drivers now that will probably benefit the most from a safety car at the end of the race will be James and Nilla, as Nilla does not have a penalty yet and he is already pitted, so he will be up there among the other drivers, and that's the same with Tommy actually. So those 3 drivers will benefit a lot if there is a safety car near the end of the race due to penalties. So now the Mercedes within 4 tenths of Why Not Beast in that Alfa Romeo. So I imagine he will be able to make the move along the main straight now. It looks like Why Not Beast does take a very wide line through turn 16 there, but it does finally come into pit, so that will be Why Not Beast in the Alfa Romeo into the pits now, and we'll stay on board with Tommy and Marshall, as these 2 will be coming up to the main straight very shortly, and they all have DRS on each other, so that will play an interesting part, definitely. And the one vulnerable to that will be the Hash driver of Page, as she will be the one without DRS. So we'll see how this plans out, as looks like Tommy has got a very good exit and will be able to make the move along the main straight. Now looks like he will be able to get the move done. Now what about Marshall in that Alpine? It's like he's going to get the move done as well. So it's like Page has lost out 2 positions there along the main straight. Obviously on 17 lap old tyres, you would imagine that would be the case. Curly also getting past the other Hash driver of Saki there, and Scrolled also getting past Saki at the same time. So a little bit further up we do have Why Not Beast now. Oh no, sorry, yeah, well Why Not Beast has come in to put on the soft compound tyres. But we do have Apex now 6 tenths within Nilla, but behind him is Why Not Beast on fresh soft, so he's going to have a big job to do here, trying to get past Nilla and defend from Why Not Beast. Obviously, Apex being on 15 lap old tyres. That's a yellow sector 2. Looks like a Haas car. Don't know whose Haas it is. Looks like it'll be Saki's. Looks like Saki has lost it through turn 9 there. So we'll go back on board with Apex as Why Not Beast. Sorry, as Why Not Beast does look to get past Apex along the main straight. Now with the tyre advantage, how easy will this be? It looks like Why Not Beast is actually running quite a high downforce setup, I'd imagine, or Apex is running a very low downforce setup, as he didn't seem to catch too much along the main straight there, but still 14 laps to go, so there is obviously no rush for these drivers. Now getting those soft tyres, 14 laps, seems like it's going to be a bit of a big ask, and I don't know if that's going to be possible. But we'll see what he can do, as I imagine during the end of the race he'll be struggling quite significantly with tyre wear. But we'll see, he might prove me wrong. A lot of people do prove me wrong, so we'll see how that goes. I just need to quickly go do something, guys. I'm sorry. I will leave it on Why Not Beast. I will probably be around 1 minute. I'm sorry about this. Right, sorry about that, guys. And Why Not Beast does look to make a move down the inside. Nilla does look to squeeze in, but it looks like Why Not Beast has got that move done in the Alfa Romeo. So he'll look to charge on now to try and get past Young White Boy, who is 1.6 seconds down the road. And a little bit further back, we also do have Marshall 4 attempts within Tommy, and also have got Apex with 2 attempts within Nilla, but obviously Apex will still have to pit, and same with Page. Looks like them two, those 3 actually, including Why Not Beast, will be going for that one-stop strategy. Sorry, soft medium strategy. I imagine most of the drivers here are actually going for the one-stop strategy. But actually might be the only driver going for the 2-stop strategy, so we'll see how that works for him. But that's a yellow sector 2 and 3. That's the Hash driver. I believe that is Saki once again. And that will be a virtual safety car, so we'll quickly check who that actually was. But that's been nice to Paige, as she can now come into the pits and get a cheap pit stop. But it does look like it was the Hash driver, as he has lost himself a wing. And I believe that is Spanner just trying to get past, but unfortunately she cannot, or can she? Looks like she can. So a few drives into the pits now to put on soft compound tyres. Now that's going to play a part maybe for the fight for the last couple points among the grid. But only 12 laps to go now, so the soft tyres will be able to make it to the end, most definitely. And we'll see how that plans out for the rest of the drivers. Obviously, Why Not Beast is looking to try and get, I imagine, up maybe into P5 if he can push the car, but it does look like he will be able to manage P6 as it stands. But it looks like a few drivers actually decided to come into pit now, and the safety cars just ended as they've gone into the pits. But obviously, they both have to pit anyway as it is, so we'll see where they come out among the rest of the drivers. And I imagine they'll both go on to softs. Looks like Joe's actually going on to medium compound tyres. And I don't blame him. The tyre wear on the softs after 11 laps is not nice. And that's an Alfa Romeo driver making a move down the inside. I believe that was Why Not Beast on Young White Boy. So he has got that move done on the Mercedes. And is only 5 seconds off of Blythe now, who's actually currently sat on a podium place. Now, we need to see the penalties. And Blythe has got 11 seconds of penalties, so why not Beast? As it stands, is currently sat in P3. And that is a awesome drive from him so far. Obviously being last on the grid to start this race. So now we'll stay on board with Nilla as he's looking to also pass Young White Boy. Obviously being on the medium compact tyres, he'll also have the pace advantage. So we'll see if he can get the move done going along the main straight. So will he be able to make the move along the main straight now? He is 4 tenths behind the Mercedes, and we do know he's got a very quick car in a straight line. So is he going to be able to make the move? The answer is yes. You can see the straight line speed that he's got. He takes a little bit of grass as well, and looks like he's got that move well and truly done. And you can see that just the pace of the straight line speed that McLaren has got for Nilla. So what other battles do we have? We have Apex on the back of Spillage, and obviously this is for the last points place, I believe, unless it's 14. I believe it is up to 12th place. So looks like Apex is going to move up into the points there and move up into P12 as it stands. Young White Boy has dropped back into P6 and obviously will be under threat from LH44 very shortly, who is on soft tyres. So we'll keep our eyes on that as he's already closed into the 1 second gap between him and the Mercedes. So we'll see what happens if he can close, the Alfa Romeo driver can close enough space between him and the Mercedes driver to be able to make the move on the main straight. He is already down to half second and sets fast to sector 3. And Tommy has left the session. I'm sure that is his connection. Booting him out and not being very nice to him, but he's currently sat in P8 and he's going to lose a lot of time because of that connection loss, which is really unfortunate for him. But LH44 looks like he is going to get the move done. Actually, it doesn't look like he's going to be close enough, and Nilla is actually going to be the one being overtaken here, and now Nilla is going to have to worry about LH44 behind him. So this is the battle for P5, which it's looking very interesting so far. All 3 tyre compounds battling here. Now, Nilla's got to be careful of LH44. Now, what's LH44 going to do? Is he going to line himself up for a good exit to be able to get past Young White Boy here, as they almost go 3 wide into turn 8. Looks like LH44 does actually back out after that, but Nilla's now back up into P5, and Young White Boy, again, it looks like he's struggling a little bit on those higher compound tyres compared to these guys on mediums and softs. Now what's LH44 going to do is he goes the long way round into turn 12, I believe that is, and nearly gets the move done. But is he going to go up the inside here? No, he's not. So I imagine he's going to lead the move to try and make it back on the straight, but we saw what happened a lap ago along the straight, and Young White Boy did have a bit more pace along the straight, but we'll see if LH44 can do it this time round. As it looks like Young White Boy's actually lost it on the curve there, and because of that he is now spun, and that could leave the position for Joe, and it looks like Joe is going to get the move done, and Tommy is also moving up into P6. And then, right, what's happened? Right, LH44 now is trying to get past FN Nilla. Sorry, TPR Nilla. It's he used to be called FN Nilla. But it looks like he's going to get the move done going into turn 7 here. No, it's not. It looks like he's not got enough track just there to be able to make the move. But we'll see if he can do it throughout the rest of this lap. As we can see there, he has got the pace to be able to go quicker, but obviously it's very hard to overtake through these corners. So the Alfa Romeo driver right up the back of the McLaren driver, and he's just got to be patient here and pick his moment. You usually don't want to ram up the back of the McLaren driver and lose a part of your wing. And it looks like he has actually tapped the McLaren driver there, or it looks like he has not got any damage, so he should be good. But will he be able to make the move along the main straight now, as looks to get a very good exit out of there, and will now have DRS. Nilla looks to try and break the toe, but the soft tyres are just flying along the straight now, and because of that, LH44 is going to get that move done. And Nilla's actually going to come back at him and take the position once again, and it's like Nilla is actually going to keep the position of P5. That was an awesome move back from Nilla there to be able to take P5 back. But will H44 be able to make the move this time going in turn? No, he will not. So it looks like he will be stuck behind the McLaren driver for one more lap, but only 7 more laps to go in this Portuguese Grand Prix. As it stands, the top 4 all seem to be spaced out quite a lot, so it's like they'll be keeping the positions as they are in, but we have to remember Blythe's got 11 seconds worth of penalties, so that means he's currently probably sat in around P7. But the Alfa Romeo driver of LH44 needs to get past Nilla as quickly as he can. He's going to do it before the straight, is he? No, he is not. So it looks like Nilla's going to have to defend once again along the main straight. And it's like LH44 has got a much better exit this time and will be able to make the move before the corner, as he's using up a lot of his ERS, but so is Nilla. So it looks like LH44 is now just going to breeze past the McLaren and move up into P5. So the 2 Alfa Romeos now up into P4 and P5. Obviously he's still got to defend from Nilla if Nilla can stay within 1 second of LH44, and obviously the longer Nilla is behind LH44, the better chance he will have. Actually, I take that back. Nilla's tyres are 11 laps old. So I imagine he will not be able to make a move back, as he's already within outside of the 1 second gap to LH44. Obviously Tommy has not got back in, so now Marshall has moved up into P11, and well, that's it really. Nobody else really close to each other. I don't know what to say. Yeah, we'll run through the penalties and see about where everybody is. You can see the penalties there, and actually Why Not Beast has got 6 seconds worth of penalties, so he could lose out the podium to LH44 here, and the way it's going, I think he might. So LH44 could be on for a podium if he keeps his pace up, and obviously being on 4 lap younger soft tyres, I imagine he will be able to do so. Blythe, no, Liam has decided to come into the pits and put on the soft tyres. That's going to bring him out in around P7. Looks like he's going to come out in P6, so he's got a lot to catch up now, and it looks like Joe's trying to go around the outside of him immediately. Does pick up a 3 second time penalty as well doing so, but James is now 24, well technically 26 seconds ahead. He doesn't really have to worry about Blythe too much with a 11 second penalty, so he could come into pit just to get the fastest lap. And I believe he'll still stay the same position, but I'm not too sure myself actually if that is the case. I'm not too sure how long the pit stops at Portugal are. But Joe now on the back of Liam, but obviously Liam being on the soft compound tyres, I don't think Joe is going to be able to keep up with the Williams driver. But that does now in fact give Why Not Beast a chance. But again, as it stands, Nilla is now the one sat in P3 and LH44 is the one sat in P2 due to penalties. And you see there, young white boy picking up another 3 second time penalty. He is down in P13 as it stands. So we'll stay on board with Liam, as I imagine he'll be the one making ground throughout the rest of these 4 laps. So we'll see if he can move up any positions, but even if he does move up past Nilla, Nilla has not got any penalties, and I think he will not have to worry about getting passed by the Williams driver of Liam. But Liam is going quite quick actually, and has already gained 1 second on Nilla, so with 4 laps remaining he should be okay, Nilla, but we will see. Looks like Liam does go down the inside there, and they do bump wheels actually, and because of that, Liam has lost it, and that will now be Liam moved down quite a few places. And Joe will say thank you very much for that, because that now moves up the Aston Martin driver into P6. So it looks like there, Liam has now dropped down into P7 because of that incident. And, oh no, P8, sorry, as Apex also gets past him as well. But we'll focus our attention on the battle for P3, but as it stands, P2 after Blyther's penalties. But after Why Not Beast's penalties, LH44 is already in P2. But just to make sure of it, looks like LH44 will try and get past Why Not Beast. And just have a nice bit of fresh air in front of him. But all Why Not Beast has got to do is just bring the car home, and then he will be on the podium spot due to Blyther's penalties. And Nilla has dropped back quite a bit, so maybe Nilla has got some damage, because now Joe is looking to try and make a move on Nilla. So maybe Nilla has picked up some damage in that battle with Liam. We will check out the tyres, and in fact Joe is on 7 lap younger tyres. That explains the pace advantage, but I imagine LH44 is just going to cruise past his teammate here. The two Alfa Romeo swapping positions along the main straight. One moving up into P3 and one moving down into P4, but after penalties they will be P2 and 3. A little bit further back we do have Joe making that move on Nilla. Now is he going to be able to make the move before the 100 meter board? And you can see once again the pace of the McLaren, and he manages to stay in P5 as it stands. So 2 more laps after this lap to go, and you can see how far ahead that Mercedes actually is, as he is now going through the last sector, while Blyther is only just started sector 2. You can see the pace difference that James has got, and he is absolutely flying. He is lapping everybody. I believe who's this in front? Curly. So he has lapped 1, 2, 3, 4, nearly 5 cars this race. But we'll stay on board with Joe and Nilla as these two are flying it out for that P5 position. Looks like Joe has got the move done, or has he? Will Nilla be able to come back at him? But I do not think so. So it looks like Joe has moved up into P5, but he's going to have to gain, I believe, 6 seconds on Nilla due to penalties. So we'll see if he'll be able to do that. And Blyther, what's happened to Blyther? Blyther has lost a lot of positions, so I imagine he must have spun out somewhere along turn 16, I'd imagine. So now that definitely moves Why Not Beast up into P3, but possibly could move Nilla up into P4 if Nilla can try and find a little bit more pace. But as it stands, I think Blyther will be taking P5, with Joe taking... No, Blyther will be taking P4. Yeah, P4. So Blyther will be taking P4 if it stays the way it is. Obviously, Why Not Beast will want to get past Blyther anyway, so he can go over the line in P3 without penalties. A little bit further back, we do have Page trying to get past the Alpine of Curly for that last points place. So, as James is now on his final lap, where is he? He is going through sector 2. We'll stay on board with him, as we have not been on board with him, but arguably he has driven the best out of all the drivers, as he has got quite a big gap between him and any other driver. So a really good job to the Mercedes driver. So we'll stay on board as he goes through the last sector, and just applaud him for his very strong drive here in Portugal. and Why Not Beast has also got past Blyther. But anyway, the Mercedes driver of James comes across the line to win round 4, Season 2, round 4 of Portugal. A very strong drive from him. So huge congratulations to the Mercedes driver. LH44 will be next across the line, and he'll be taking P2 as long as nothing drastic happens along the final bit. So he comes across the line to take P2. A good result from him. Why Not Beast will come across the line to take P3. That's 2 Alfa Romeos on the podium there. Looks like Blyther has been given another 5-second time penalty for an unserved penalty. Not too sure why that will mean. He does stay in P5 still. P4 still, and Joe will take P5. FN Nilla will cross the line to take P6. Apex will cross the line to take P7. Now Marshall will cross the line, but due to penalties he'll be moved down into P9, and Scroll will take P8. Once Scroll comes across the line, you can see him just there. Now we'll move Scroll up into P8. Young White Boy will come across the line to take P10. And then, last but not least, will be Spillage to come across the line to take P11. As you can see there, Why Not Beast getting driver of the day, and I do agree with that one, as he's worked his way through the pack to be able to move up into P3. That is a very strong drive indeed from him. So I'll run you through the order of the final positions, and then that will be it from me, guys. So you can see there, James taking P1 in P2 and 3 is LH44 and Why Not Beast in the Alfa Romeo. Blyther taking P4, Joe taking P5, Nilla in P6, Apex in P7, Scrolled in P8, Marshall will take P9, Young White Boy will take P10, Spillage in P11, Curly in P12, Page in P13, Tommy in P14, Creason in P15, and Spanner will take P16, the last of the runners of the grid. And you can see our 3 DNFs of the grid will be Liam, Saki, and Jesper. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next week in Imola, Italy.